Hello everybody, welcome back to Brands Hatch. It's time for race 2 of the Cheshire Insurance MG Cup. What a weekend it has been so far, and if race 2 is anything like race 1, we are in for a real treat. Funny enough, good timing. This man, Ashley Woodward, had a cracking race with that man, Lance Dunnington. Perhaps we're going to see more of that during this race. So Charles, what did you make of it yesterday?
Oh, yesterday's race was fantastic. I mean, we didn't know where to look half the time, did we? There was action going on all the way up and down the field. Very close, tight-knit racing, but all very respectful, very fair. I didn't see any contact at all, I don't think, and fantastic racing from everyone out there, and I'm looking forward to more of it today.
Yeah, let's just put yesterday's race results up onto the screen for you so you can see how things finished up. And Stephen Dermott, once he got into the lead, kind of ran away with it. Then it was the Ashley Woodward Lance Dunnington show, it really was. Lance Dunnington actually think he crossed the line ahead of Ashley, but he was given a 10-second penalty because he overshot his box, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly that, Ian. So brilliant fight between those two, and Lance winning it out on the road, but sadly due to a pit box infringement meant a time penalty that cost him that second place. But I'm looking forward to more of the same today. As they do start not alongside each other, but they do start next to each other, at least on the grid. Second and third, obviously, Lance starting that row back from Woodward, but I'm sure by the time we get into Paddock Hill Bend, they'll all be right with each other.
Yeah, there's some great performances in there, wasn't there? Peter Birchall is one, of course, back after a year out. We've touched on that quite a lot already. Yes, we do go back and check out some of the content we've already done. And, of course, Alan Forster in the MG Montego. I don't think he's actually in yet. Finishing 8th, quite stuck from the pit line and saying he's going to take it easy in that very valuable Montego. I haven't seen him yet. He did tell us, in fact he's just coming down now, listen, he did tell us as well he's going to possibly start from the grid and not the pit lane today. He's feeling racy today, isn't he? Yeah,
he's feeling racy today. But like I said, you know, it's the same with a few of them. They've all said they're going to take it easy. You give them one lap and you're a racing driver. It takes over.
On Mr. Forster. He's coming in there. He is. Look at that, a real crowd favourite. In fact, that car was having a photo shoot for the MG Enthusiast magazine this morning as well.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, no, it's an absolutely lovely looking car. And he's definitely making the most of it out there with even just having fun, and it's definitely one to watch today. If he does start from the grid, it will be very interesting to see how far he can come from P8.
Now, can I borrow that a second, because you just mentioned people with a bit of work to do. One man who's got a lot of work to do is Ian Dowler. Let's go have a chat with him. It was an eventful race for him, a couple of spins. Ian, you know I love you, mate. You know that. But you're having a few spins, a few moments yesterday. What was going on out there?
We've got a brand new car to make, so I'm learning and learning fast. There's a few things that we've changed, and it was difficult yesterday. Temperatures were low, tyres were cold, and I was on a demon move, and the back of the car locked up.
Right.
So we've made some adjustments, we've learnt really quickly, and we're going to go today. And I've got some work to do, that's for sure.
You're in a good place though, Ian, and we know you. You've got some serious pace, haven't you? You're going to go forward in this one.
I'm going forward in this one. I'm going to get on the back of Mr. Bolton and the Robinson father, son. We're going to get there. I hope so. I've just got to say, big shout out, we're missing a couple of people from our clan this weekend. My Uncle Stephen and Margaret, they're at home this weekend. Stephen's a little bit poorly, so wish him all the best for his recovery. And we're doing this for him, so we'll be out there going fast.
Well, if you're watching, please do comment. I'm sure you are watching. Best of luck, and it's always a pleasure. You always got a smile. You can't see it, but
yeah, always smiling. Always smiling. It's motor racing. You just love it.
One to watch Ian Dowler in this race. Thanks, Ian. Take care, buddy. Another person who doesn't necessarily have work to do. We're going to let him have the day off, actually, almost, because it's his birthday. So let's go over here. And Charles, do you want to take that just for a second? Because Craig based in here. What we want to say is, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Craig Baston. Happy birthday to you. 19 years old today, doesn't look a day over 16. Great big day today, of course.
I know, mate, yeah.
Is there anything else you'd rather do on your birthday? There isn't, is there?
No, I don't believe actually. It's been pretty much the perfect birthday weekend.
Have you not had to do any work on the car then, or do any of the washing up, or do anything because it's your birthday? You had the weekend off.
I'll tell you what, mate. You won't believe this. It's because you haven't had to touch it. I haven't had to do a thing.
This is beautiful because obviously I've known you guys for a while now, and luck hasn't always been on your side, but we're there now, right?
I think so, yeah. Touch wood. I mean, I didn't touch this since Donington last year. It sat on my drive for 8 months, 9 months. I'd just had enough of it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we pulled our fingers out a few weeks ago, changed the cylinder head gasket, put it all back together, fired up first turn, and we were like, holding temperature, it's not leaking. Well, we've got the right car.
He's back. You'll be decent, okay, we are broadcasting all over the world as well. So MG Car Clubs in Australia and Singapore. Everybody around the world now knows it's your birthday. So
even better.
I would expect an influx of birthday cards.
I hope so. I hope so.
No birthday bumps today, until after the race, maybe. Special race. Happy birthday again, of course. Let's keep going. I just saw Ian Bolton actually. There he is. Ian, come on, buddy. We've got. Well, I was going to say I haven't seen too much of you this weekend.
How are you doing?
Yeah, very good. How are you doing, Mark? Because it was a good race yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, yesterday was fun, yeah. Did you see my little spin?
Yeah.
Oh, it's good, yeah. Someone, I think people wanted to play the mud on the track, and I found it.
Yeah.
Went sideways, yeah. So today will be what today is.
Today will be what... Dry conditions, though. There's no...
I love the dry.
I
love the warm and dry, lovely. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. You can never plan a race. You just go out there and see how it unfolds, and hopefully we get to the end of the first lap all in one piece.
It's like broadcasting. We can never make a plan, and we hope to get to the end in one piece. Best of luck. We will.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you so much. I think we're about to get going. Actually, there's a red flag, isn't there? So it's almost time to get going for race 2 of the Churchbridge Insurance MG Cup. I think there's a red flag. If my producer could let me know what is going on, that would be great. We're going to get ourselves back up to the top of the Grand Trip. So let's take a bit of a walk, shall we? That's where we're going to bring you the race 2 action. Don't forget, do get involved with us. Do comment below. Live Sport Now on YouTube is the best place to do it. Because if you do it in there, we can comment in the live chat and we can show it on screen as well. So please do get in touch. We're going to make our way down now. And yesterday, after the race during our paddock walk, we spoke to Steve McDermott and Lance Ellington. We had a good chat with them, didn't we? Let's hear from them now. Roll VT.
Here he is, the man himself, Steve McDermott. That was... How are you? Sorry, could we just grab that? We were just chatting about you. Once you got your nose in front, that was it, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. The car's really good. New car, first time it's out. Been building it for the last 6 weeks, and it all sort of come good. There's a couple of little niggles of it, but all in all, it all went well.
We spoke a little bit earlier during qualifying. You came in quite early to the pits, didn't you?
Yeah, through a power steering belt, so I had no power steering after 2.5 laps. So
you don't need power steering, these guns.
Well, yeah, it was. But I thought then I lost it big time around clearways, and I thought maybe I'm losing oil, so I came back in just to make sure. But it wasn't oil; it was just a belt.
Now we've done our maths, we've done the calculations, haven't we, chaps? And we've worked out that you have won 100% of the races you have entered this year in the Churchbridge Insurance MG Cup. How did it feel to lift that trophy?
I ain't got it yet.
You hadn't even got it.
I got the President's Cup in the BARC though last year.
Yeah.
And that was I was chuffed with that.
Yeah.
So that was a really good season.
A winning start, more of the same tomorrow, right?
Well, I'll try my best.
You try your best. Steve, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Good man. As well, Graham Ross. Graham, first of all, congratulations on yesterday's race and win. It was a cracker. Wasn't quite so straightforward, was it? Lee and Fergus got you at the start.
Yes, well, of course, with the Class B.
The moment is here. Lars, you've heard about the penalty now. Are you all right? We can talk about it, can we?
Well, I can't talk about it, no. I can't talk about it. But no, it was a silly thing. I sort of was expecting I thought there might be another green flag lap because no, they weren't on the grid when I came back round, and I thought, is there another one? So I was sort of paying attention to that and not actually where I stopped, and I just thought, yeah, what could I do at that point? It was.
We had a little chat actually, didn't we, off camera
Yes.
beforehand, and we were talking about the Lance and Ashley show because it was incredible. The racing between you two, and you paid a lot of praise to Ashley as well.
Ashley was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant. It was so clean, and gave each other as much room as we could. It was just really nice. I knew all the places he was a lot quicker than me, through paddock, for instance, and so it was just really trying to keep it. I wanted to keep it on the black stuff today and not do anything silly.
So you're going to do something a bit more silly tomorrow. You're going to go a bit heavier tomorrow.
I might do. Yeah. Well, now I know how quick he is. I've got to get a good start tomorrow, which is going to be the important.
Well, you did
thing
have a
here.
good start today.
Yeah, I was really pleased because normally back in the day we used to do rolling starts.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of it was a huge baptism of fire for me today with the start especially. I thought, don't muck it up. So,
well, it's a pleasure to have you back racing. It really
thank
is.
you. It was such a great to be with the MG Cup and everyone out there. It was a lot of fun. And I'm thrilled to be back, really, as you can see.
We can see it, we can see it. Not even a 10-second penalty could stop this man smiling.
No, listen, I'll take 10 seconds. It's a shame. Damn! But yeah, I'll try to put it in the right place tomorrow.
Lance, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks
Thank
so much
you.
for talking to us. Thanks
Ian,
for coming
thank
out.
you.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thrilled.
It's a pleasure.
Right, welcome back everybody. Yeah, that was Steve McDermott and Lance Ellington a little bit earlier. In fact, that was yesterday during our paddock walk, wasn't it, Charles?
It was yesterday, yeah. A couple of very excited and happy people after a very exciting race from them.
Right, now, we've come out here because we thought we were about to get underway. The race ahead, the Midget Sprite Challenge, was a red flag, wasn't it? There was still 5 minutes on the clock. As you can see, there's quite a lot of work going on. And once again, quite a lot of oil has gone down, hasn't it? It's not just here, it's not just at Graham Hill. Look, if we just turn around and pop the camera up at sort of Surtees, McLean's and Clearways, look at it up there. I mean, there's a lot there, isn't there, Charles?
There is a lot, and a fair amount of it is all on the racing line as well. So whoever dropped all of that will not be the most popular person in the paddock. I can tell you that much for sure. Yeah, marshals, as you can see, the Orange Army working very, very hard, as they always do. To do their best to clean it all up so that when we do go racing again, we don't have a whole bunch of cars slipping all over the place. But yeah, not ideal. And then obviously we've got this wait now while the race beforehand finishes off before we can get the cup underway.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be exciting. I actually think our Church Energy Cup drivers will be quite pleased actually that there is going to be 5 minutes on the Midget Sprite Challenge race ahead as well, because it will just give them perhaps a bit of a chance to kick this dust up and find out where the lines are and clear it a little bit. It'd be quite nervous going out there straight into this, wouldn't it? But I mean, we touched on race 1 yesterday. It was a cracking race. The big battle between Lance Ellington and Ashley Woodward. More of the same, we think.
Yeah, more of the same. I can't see why there wouldn't be. And with a few others that we have just spoken to that we think will come through and could put on a real great show for us. So a very exciting race yesterday. If you haven't already, go back and have a look at that stream, but just not right now. Stay with us for this cup race, and when this one is over, feel free to find it from yesterday. It's all over the socials and things, and on YouTube. And tune in and watch that one. It's a very exciting and thrilling race, and I would highly recommend you do so if you haven't done already.
Yeah, great job by the marshals. It doesn't look like we're too far away actually from getting things back underway from this one over at Surtees and McLean's and Clearways. It looks like there's no marshals on the, well, there's a few actually just walking around Clearways. Look, they're just last minute check-in. Just going to have the short hosed away here. And then we should be back underway. 5 minutes left on the Midget Sprite. We're going to stay live for it to watch a little bit of action of it. Actually, we have covered it before a couple of years ago here at Brands Hatch. We're not doing it, of course, this weekend though. So race 2 coming up shortly for the Cheris Vehicle Insurance MG Cup. Does promise to be an absolute corker out there. Will Steve McDermott make it a pair of wins so far? Charles. He's won every single race he's entered in the Churchill Insurance MG Cup in 2022. Do you go back as well, watch our paddock walk yesterday? Because we had a bit of a giggle, didn't we, at a couple of favourite people's expenses.
Yeah.
All good tongue-in-cheek though.
Nothing
malicious,
too bad.
Saying some obvious things that certain celebrity says in Formula 1 terms. And it's all good fun and games, but we did catch up with Steve. We caught up with Lance, as you've already heard from as well, and a number of other drivers down there too. A good strong grid for round one here of the Churchill Insurance MG Cup. In fact, whilst we're waiting, let's just have a look at where else the MG Cup is going to be racing with the race date for 2023. You can pop that image on screen for you. Of course, heading to Oulton Park, Silverstone, Cadwell Park and Snetterton still to go this season. 5 meetings in total. That Silverstone meeting is a big one. That's the 10th and 11th of June. That is the MG Live meeting as well on the GP circuit. That is going to be a corker. You can watch every single round of the Churchill Insurance MG Cup live with us at Live Sport Now. There's a link in the body of this broadcast where it says watch the entire MG Cup season in 2023. You can watch it all there. Just hit subscribe when you're there, and if you comment in the live chat, we can show it on screen. Get commenting, why not? I'd like to ask my producer if any comments have come in, any information you can give me would be wonderful.
So as the green flag lap gets underway for the MGs, they're getting restarted. It has made me thought about a little conversation that we had with Peter Birchall an hour or so ago, saying that how, and for a lot of you at home who haven't raced or haven't been around race cars much, even the road-going saloons and things that you'll see on the streams, obviously that we're going to see in the cup race as well, a lot of them don't have handbrakes. They remove the handbrake, they don't need them, it's added weight, and race cars don't need handbrakes. So one of the things that you'll also probably not be able to tell if you've not been here at Brands is the grid itself is on a slant, so you're starting uphill, which means you've got to balance your foot across the brake, the throttle pedal and the clutch at the same time. Obviously you've got 2 feet and 3 pedals, so you've got to sort of find that balance point. But Peter he was telling us how he tried something new yesterday.
Yeah.
And it seemed to give him the best start he's ever had.
He didn't say that. He said, I've been racing for years and years and years and years. And of course, we must say, if you don't know, Peter Birchall suffered a stroke in January 2022. He basically runs the MG Cup. He does tremendous work. He really, really does. He had a stroke in January 2022. Obviously wiped him out for the season. Not even sure if he's ever going to be able to race again. He's back at Brand Patch for the first time. It has meant a few limitations and having to change his driving style. He did say, didn't he, he's not able to hold it on the brake and the accelerator at the same time and ride it that way. But what he's done now is he's held it on the clutch, and as soon as lights go out, he just stamps down on the accelerator, and he's had the best start of his life.
Yeah.
And he's thinking, why haven't I been doing that for the last 18 years? It's amazing what you learn, don't you, in difficult circumstances.
Oh, exactly. You never stop learning, and he's just found himself with automatic launch control, clearly. So, as we're waiting, you'll hopefully be able to see the start of this.
Touch on this. This is the Midget Sprite Challenge, as I said before. This is the race at the red flag. The car is obviously retired and put a lot of oil down on the track, as you can see. And they put the chalky, the dust down there, haven't they, to soak all the oil up. Interesting, on their green flag lap, as they were coming around, the amount that they were kicking up. Now, these cars are over the top, aren't they? And now, of course, the guys got helmets are going to go in their eyes, but it's going to kick into their helmets a little bit. Is that going to actually affect visibility a little bit? It's going to be a bit of a pain if you're sort of middle of the pack towards the back.
It definitely sort of gets in your vision, and obviously these helmets, they're not airtight. They do have vents and everything else in them, so that some of that dust, it's unlikely, but it can filter its way through into the drivers, especially if you're a following driver, as you can see there. It's a little bit like with single seaters. It's the same sort of thing. When you're out there, the dust comes up and you're driving through a dust cloud. It's not the nicest thing in the world, but it is. It's just part and parcel of it, sadly, until all that dust gets run on and cleared up. The drivers will just have to keep running through it, and lap time is more important than your visibility, and after a while you get into a rhythm and you can drive without your eyes. Not that I'd recommend it, but
drive without your eyes. There we go. Quote of the weekend. I like that. I mean, it's no worse than. I mean, better conditions than it being wet, isn't it, to be fair, so it's probably not really an issue. I'm just filling for time. I'm trying to make something more out of something that probably isn't even there, to be brutally honest with you. But we must say as well, we're just saying happy birthday to Craig Basin. It's his birthday. It's actually his 35th year of the Church Wilton MG Cup as well, so happy birthday to the MG Cup too. Yeah. It's a big one.
Yeah,
year,
35,
I believe. Yeah, 35 years old. I was 2 years old when it started.
I'm not going to make you feel old, so I will not tell you how old
I am. My age there. Now, if you're wondering why we're not commenting on this race, we're not actually here to do this race. The last couple of laps of the midget and Sprite Challenge, but of course I don't actually know anything. I haven't done any research on it because it wasn't a series that we're here to do. So I can tell you there's 2 blue cars out front.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, something I suppose that we could talk about that we often don't get a chance to is some of the procedures that you don't see, the safety procedures. So if you quickly pan down there for us, Ian, you'll see the safety car. So the safety car here at Brands is a very unique place. Normally it's sat at the end of the pit lane. And the safety car here at Brands is sat there just on the escape road out on the exit of Graham Hill Bend. So during the start of the race, which you may have seen in the background, the ambulance does sit at the back of the grid and follow them round for that first lap. The safety car itself here, it will be behind that ambulance and it will sit, it will sort of pan round to where Edge of Clearways is. The safety car will sit just over there on the apron and it will give it the safety car driver and his passenger a viewpoint of paddock and a little bit of Druids and coming out of Graham Hill Bend. Knowing that those 2 corners have gone well, hopefully, the car will then drop itself into the pit lane, bring itself round and perch itself up where we've just seen. If you're wondering how or why I know all this, it's because I have driven the safety car around here a couple of times and it's the same procedure for when we do that. So, yeah, if there's any questions that people have about some of the other procedures and stuff behind the scenes, I'm sure we can either try and find out or yeah, we might actually know for you. So if there's any questions, do put a comment below. YouTube is the best place to find us for that. So if you just put a comment on the YouTube live stream and we can see all that, we can put them on screen. If you do have any questions, we can of course answer them for you, hopefully. Nice things that you also probably will be able to pick up in the stream is that the sun has finally come out for the first time this weekend, which I know has definitely put a smile on Ian and my own face because it means it's not quite as cold up here, Ian, is it? So yeah, the clouds have gone away, it's not raining, obviously it means that the dust itself won't get soaked up as much. But it does mean that it's a lovely sunny day here, at least on the circuit, and it's fully dry conditions, a little bit warmer, so that will play a little bit of change with the tyre pressures. Everybody who's waiting in paddock Ferme now, they'll probably be running slightly lower than they would have been doing yesterday due to the cold and the conditions, and it would just mean that the tyres would, if they were kept the same, it would mean that the tyres would go off that little bit quicker as they would be running hotter and therefore would not have the longevity, or they would just be running that little bit harder. You wouldn't quite get the grip and the bite from the tyre for as long throughout the race. So they drop off, which basically means that the grip goes before the end of the race and just sort of drops off a little bit of a curve. Not quite a cliff like in Formula 1 that you hear about with the Pirellis and things like that a few years back, if you remember. And we're just monitoring those pressures to give you the most optimum grip for the longest amount of time possible. A lot of the times in sprint races, when you are adjusting tyre pressures, it's very much dependent on the driver. So some people will run slightly higher, which will give them more benefit at the start of the race, so they get a great launch, have a great good couple of laps, but it does mean that they tail off and their lap times will tail off towards the end of the race. Whereas during the opposite end of the spectrum. Some people will run slightly lower. It means they may not have the best start and the best first couple of laps of the race. It'll take them a little bit longer to get the heat into the tyres, to get the most out of what their car is actually capable of. But it does mean that at the end of the race, they'll come on strong those last 5-10 laps or so, and they'll be able to pick off the people that will have their tyres falling off. And that's two different sort of mini strategies that you get with inside sprint series, which you think would have no real strategy really. It's something that's very much a driver's preference, and different cars and different drivers will work differently. So yeah, the MG sprint race that we've just been watching has ended now, and
bring RTMP in, and then listen and tell me how it sounds. Go. Right, hello everybody, welcome back. Sorry about that, we had a sound issue, as you can probably gather. We've just been battling in the background to get things going. As you see, Ashley Woodward leads the way though from Lance Ellington. They are renewing rivalries. I did manage to capture the start of the race on my phone as well, so we'll upload that for you so you will be able to see the start. But it's Steve McDermott who's got off to a slow start. Charles, as you can see, he's now in third place, but we know he's probably going to come through very quickly. He's already having a little look at Lance Ellington. Is he going to manage to do it? What do you think, Charles? Here we go.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one. We know how much he likes being late on the brakes. And no, he's not done it in the paddock, so I think he's probably teeing up a move for a little bit further on. As you said, Ian, both of the guys on the front row, both Woodward and the 77 car alongside him, both had bad starts, a lot of wheel spin, and it did cost them positions to allow everyone else to have a run. Obviously Woodward managed to still get out in front and build a little bit of a gap, but as you said, that 190 is definitely something that will be coming back through the pack. He's getting closer and closer to Lance as well now, so this might be the lap that he actually starts to have a look. Another great starter was the Montego of Forster. He had a brilliant start. Definitely was one to watch, trying to hang it out around the outside of Druids. This is obviously going back a few laps now, but we can see